Hi there, I'm Peter Hartzell. I'm the U.S. representative for MyGolana, and I'm here to give you just a quick overview on how to get started with your coaching counseling session at MyGolana. The place to start is at mygolana.com. So let's go there. Here you see mygolana.com. So this is a great website that has lots of information you may be interested in, including terms of service and privacy, and reassuring you on what are the types of things we do. But for you, when you're ready to get started, you just click right here on the Get Started button. And that takes you right into a first sign-in where you're confirming you're over 18 years of age. You're going to read through these elements. You click on your approval and you hit accept, and boom. That's it. Now you're into your registration page. So you're going to type in your email address, and I'm going to use a test just to show you how this works. So this is testpeter2, and then down here, at gmail.com. And then I'm going to give I'm showing you here the full way, just so you see how simple it is. So I've now put in my email and my password, and then I just enter in my name. If you don't want to put in your name, you can remain anonymous. Our recommendation is that if you're comfortable being called by your name, that will build a faster rapport with your counselor or your coach. But there may be reasons why you're not ready for that yet, and that's fine. Later on, you can update with your name. You put in the date of birth. Of course, mine is way back here in ancient history. This is just to double confirm that you're 18 years or older. And then you go ahead and put in a code. And depending on the way that you've set up your relationship with MyGolana, you may have been issued a code. This is where you would put it in. I'm just going to go ahead and click register, and then you're going to have a step where you need to fill in this CAPTCHA. And you've all done that before, so I'm not going to go one step further. I'm going to jump straight to where you'll arrive after you put in that CAPTCHA. So here we are. When you put in that CAPTCHA and you hit the return button, you will now be into your main screen. This is called your dashboard. And this is what your dashboard will look like. Down here, it will probably say 0 because you haven't completed a session, and then the number that are included in your certificate or your code. And if you don't have, or it'll just say 0 of 1. What you see up here is there are these two different opportunities to give yourself a self-assessment prior to making an appointment. And so you can push on, say, check depression, click on take the survey now. And this survey has a little disclaimer. You'll read that, agree to it. And then it's going to run through 9 questions, which are simple 4 answer questions that will give you a general sense of where you are on feelings of depression. As you fill this in, you're thinking about answering these regarding the last 2 weeks of your life, of your experience. And I recommend that you go ahead and take that if you're comfortable. The other one to take is one called Check Anxiety. And the format is exactly the same. Think about, in the last 2 weeks, how have I felt nervous, anxious, or on edge? And so you can say, hey, several days in the last 2 weeks, not at all, more than half the days, nearly every day. And you'll go through that anxiety assessment. And at the end, it will give you a write-up that is very simple, straightforward. It's not, but it's scientifically based assessment, which will be very helpful for you and very helpful when you have your first appointment, because your counselor will be able to look at that and discuss it with you. When you're ready to make your appointment, you simply click on the Make Appointment, and here you will see the calendar, and you can see which days, choose which day you want to register. Let's say I want to do it on the 4th of April. You click on the 4th of April. Here you will see your various counselors that are available on the 4th of April and what days are currently available. And the times here are based on your time zone. As you're logging in, it will know what time zone you're in. So you could pick a time. First of all, look at the counselors. If you'd like to read their profiles, there's a good description here of who they are, and that allows you to choose the counselor that you think is the best fit for you and for your needs today. Then you go ahead and click on the time you want, and you can put in a little message. I'm a first-time user, or I've been feeling these particular symptoms, or whatever you want to say is appropriate. You click confirm appointment, and then it gives you a final, are you sure? Be sure, because you will lose the appointment if you sign up for it and don't show up. Of course, we're keeping appointments available for all the clients, and we want to make sure that they take place. So at that point, you are confirmed for the appointment. And then on the day of the appointment, you're going to get an email reminder to that email address you used. And then on the time of the appointment, you will see a red banner. And at this point, I'm going to switch actually to an appointment I had. It'll be that will show you exactly how that works. We're going to walk through the actual experience of having a counseling session. You're going to receive several notices prior to your counseling session, emails a day before and a couple of hours before and a few minutes before to remind you that the session is coming up. And if for any reason you need to change it, you need to do it as soon as possible so that time slot you have is made available to someone else. A few minutes before the session is to begin, you'll log back into MyGolana.net with your login information that you set up originally, and you'll arrive back at this page. This is your dashboard page. You'll remember it from previously in this video. When the appointment is then going to start, you're going to see a red bar come up which says start session with, and then it'll give you the name of the counselor that you have your booked appointment with. You also may see some action notice bars up above. Any of these red bars that show up at this point should be taken care of. If this one says, oh, you need to reconnect, you'd click on that one. This might say you need to revisit your security settings. These will just take a couple seconds, but it clears the way then for your session to begin. At which point you put your cursor on this start session and it will allow you to click. And with your click, then your session will begin. And the next thing you'll see is that red bar that said start your session now is saying calling. And you'll hear like a phone ringing type of call that shows you that you're getting connected. If for any reason you need to cancel at that point, you can push cancel and that will terminate the connection. The next thing you'll see is a screen that looks something like this. And let me just walk you through what's going on here. Up at the top, you'll see the name of your counselor, which will be the same as the one you set it up with originally. So that'll be reassuring. And this shows you that your counselor is on audio and on video. On the left here, you can start chatting with your counselor. And when you arrive, there may already be a chat from your counselor saying, welcome to the session. And during the course of your counseling, if you want to chat, you can message each other back and forth here. And sometimes if you can't be on audio or video, this is the way your session will take place. Of course, we absolutely recommend that you use audio and video. The more social cues and communication that can be happening visually, the better for the session, the coaching, counseling session you're having. But nonetheless, this is a place where you can be real-time communicating with your counselor. Over here on the upper right, it shows you any activities that your coach has assigned you. And at the end of the session, I'll show you where you're going to see what those activities are. And then here's a place where you can keep your own notes. If the counselor says something you want to make a note of, or you want to remember to say something to them, you can put those in here. And these are not going to be viewed by the coach. So this is your private little notepad you can be using. And at the end of the session or during the session, you can click on save to make sure that those are kept for you. In the upper right-hand corner is a time box which shows you how far you are into your session. So right now we're 5 minutes and 23 seconds into this session. And then up here, obviously there's the end. You can click this if you want to stop the session, or at the end of the session, you or your coach, counselor can click that. And then these are buttons which you're going to use to turn on your audio and video so that your counselor can hear and see you. So when you arrive, you're going to see that the audio and video are both marked out in red. You're going to click on the video, you're going to click on the audio, and now your video and audio are open to your counselor to see. And below we were just showing you these 3 boxes, but if you scroll down on your desktop or on your phone, you can be using a phone as well as a desktop, whatever is convenient for you. You will then see the video of your counselor. Here's one of the MyGolana counselors, and then here's the video of you up in the upper left-hand corner. So during the session, you'll be talking just like you would the person is sitting at a desk across from you. The session will last up to 50 minutes, and you will have activities and notes that you've taken, and when it's finished, it will end when you say and agree with the counselor that it's time to end the session. Immediately then you will be bounced back to your dashboard, which you see here, and you will then be offered a survey that will ask you 8 quick questions about how did the session go for you. Some of them are more about the technical scheduling and booking. Was it easy, and was the quality of the video and everything excellent? And others will be more about the counseling session itself. By completing these and turning this in, this helps MyGolana manage its own quality and make sure that we're giving you the best support possible. Later on, you're going to want to go back and look at some of those notes. You may want to look at the assignments that your counselor may have agreed with you would be useful. And to get to those, you go back. Remember, now this is your main dashboard. You go back to your dashboard and you click on the open button in your appointment scheduler right here. And when you click on that open, you're then going to see this screen, which will give you the results of any of the surveys you've taken about anxiety or depression. And it will also give you an opportunity to go back and visit the notes from a previous session. So here's the session I had previously. And if I click on open there, it will then open up the details of my session. There's 3 activities that my counselor gave me. One is create healthy activities list. And if you click on here, it will give you some ideas on how to do that. Any notes from my sessions, these are the notes that I will have taken, my private notes. Any notes I give to my counselor will be down here. Chat history from our session will be all recorded here. Post-session notes, and messages from my counselor. All of these are helping you as the participant to remember what it was you discussed, to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks, to remind yourself of the follow-up items that may help you with your wellness work with the MyGolana coaches. I think that pretty much covers it. It's quite straightforward, but I hope this gives you a few tips on where to find and what to expect when you get on the session. I just want to wrap up here and say thank you so much for joining this quick introduction. and reassure you, you've got this. This is easy to use. They're friendly counselors. The system is straightforward. I hope you're impressed with that. If you have particular questions or feedback, here are 2 email addresses you could jot down: info@MyGolana, or my email is peter@MyGolana, and we're happy to follow up with any questions or feedback you have. Thanks so much. Enjoy MyGolana.